Hello, I'm Kim Channel, and I'm a climatologist with GLISA, a RISA team funded by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to help communities in our region build lasting and equitable climate resilience. I'm here today to tell you about GLISA's approach to scenario planning. Scenario planning is a method to describe and incorporate uncertainty into decision-making. It creates a framework to consider several novel situations, not just what may be expected based on the past, which increases preparedness for multiple plausible futures and ultimately helps build resilience. GLISA has developed a particular scenario planning approach adapted from our work with the National Park Service, where we work with practitioners to develop a set of physically plausible climate, weather, or lake level scenarios that then form the basis of scenario planning exercises in a live workshop. Before the workshop, there is generally several months of remote engagement with the practitioners and GLISA to identify key management concerns, goals, and vulnerabilities in order to develop a suite of tailored scenarios. And we develop these scenarios utilizing guidance from climate model projections, along with historic observations and trends, and input from the practitioners or participants involved. Then these scenarios are presented to participants during the workshop, where breakout groups can further customize or build on the scenarios, discuss impacts, and outline recommendations. And our scenario planning approach is always evolving as we learn from each experience, each workshop, and as we receive feedback and suggestions from participants. And though these scenarios can be customized for each workshop or community we are working with, we do have some pre-developed climate scenarios available on our website that can give you an idea of what they could look like, and you can even use them directly in your work. Now, these may be labeled climate change scenarios for cities. That's because they were developed with input from municipal staff around the region, but they are relevant to far more audiences than just cities. The first thing you'll see as you scroll through this resource is an explanation of the scenarios and how they were developed. Then it gets into individual scenarios broken down by the 4 seasons. Each scenario has a main scenario narrative, followed by a description of optional customizations. For example, you might use this summer scenario with an extreme heat event, convective storms, power outages, and so on. And then you could choose to add in customizations, such as defining the temperature threshold of the extreme heat event as 90 degrees or 100 degrees, or adding relevant public health details, or even adding in storm surge and erosion if you're a coastal community. So we encourage you to look through these as examples that are open for anyone to use and adapt to their own purposes, but know that we can and do customize the scenarios for individual workshops as necessary. And we also have a scenario planning workbook accompanying this set of scenarios available on our website at that same link. This workbook walks through the entire scenario planning process, from all of the pre-workshop steps to the actual workshop exercises for breakout groups. Pre-workshop activities include developing your problem statement, building your core team, identifying participants or stakeholders who should be involved, selecting the scenarios, and planning the workshop, each of which are laid out with detailed directions. Then it walks through the scenario planning exercises that breakout groups will do together during the course of the workshop. And this is where they will define their overall goals and actions based on the problem statement, customize the scenario that is developed and assigned to them, identify the challenges that their scenario poses to their goals, and then generate some initial recommendations for ways to respond to or prepare for the conditions of that scenario in order to still meet their goals. So we encourage you to also look through this workbook if you want to understand how the process works and how the workshop plays out. These resources are both publicly available for anyone to use and adapt to their own needs. If you're interested in learning more about this approach, or interested in collaborating with GLISA to bring scenario planning to your organization or your community, please don't hesitate to reach out to us via email and check out our resources on this topic. You can access all of the information I've shared in this video through these links, including examples of past projects and scenario planning workshops. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to hearing from you.